We are anonymous. We track the noise, follow the numbers behind it, and say plainly what many avoid. If you came for propaganda, you will not find it here. If you came for clarity, focus. Tonight, we explain why so many races, from New Jersey to Virginia to New York City, converge on one name, why the early numbers line up in the same direction, why even Fox is airing segments that unsettle Donald Trump, and why voters across the map keep giving the same answer. You will hear every detail, nothing cut delivered cleanly, in a natural voice with space to breathe. Let us start with the obvious. The common denominator is Donald Trump. Democrats are on the verge of landing, a heavy blow in his second-term cycle, and the most notable point is how very different candidates are winning with a shared message. Trump is a disaster for the country and drags down everything he touches. Mickey Sherrill in New Jersey is up 6 points. Abigail Spanberger in Virginia is up solidly. Zam Mandani is up 16 points in New York City. Different styles, different geographies, but the through line is clear. All of them go straight at Donald Trump, and from New Jersey to Virginia to New York City, those Democratic candidates lead their Republican and independent opponents. That will hurt, and for good reason. One thing is early voting showing energized Democratic turnout. Another is when even Fox airs messaging that has lived rent-free in Trump's head since the day Barack Obama stepped onto the national stage. Our country and our politics are in a dark place. Every day, this White House pushes out a fresh batch of lawlessness, recklessness, meanness, and plain craziness. Those are not whispers. They are the cold diagnosis that has followed Trump for years. And when it appears on a channel he once treated as a safe space, the effect spreads in ways he cannot easily control. Zoom out. This is not a Monday to remember for the sitting president. First, CNN's Harry Enton breaks down the margins in New Jersey, Virginia, and New York. Different Democratic candidates, different ideological shades, but one core message is connecting. Trump harms the country. Mickey Sherrill up 6, Abigail Spanberger up solidly in Virginia, Zam Mandani up 16 in New York City. Yes, Democrats differ on policy details, but they share one target, Donald Trump. And for now, they lead across those battlegrounds. Republican and independent-backed opponents trail. How much is Trump shaping these races beyond being the opponent to beat? Look at net favorability. In New Jersey, he is at -11. In Virginia, -14. In New York, -35. Nationally, polling aggregates put him around -13. In one CNN survey, it is even worse, matching the New Jersey and Virginia trajectory. These races become loud warning bells going into next year because Trump is a clear drag in all three places. The numbers match the mood. His approval is stuck at 37% with 63% disapproval, a low point in his second term. Majorities say the country is on the wrong track and that he has gone too far in using presidential power. That is not gossip. It is the snapshot of voter sentiment this week. Do these races hint at the coming midterm? History says yes. When Democrats sweep New York City, New Jersey, and Virginia in an odd year, they go on to win their House the next year, 5 out of 5 times across the past 90 years back to FDR. That is the pattern when the president's party is unpopular. Odd-year elections in Virginia and New Jersey often flash red lights for the following year. These races matter beyond state lines. They are signals. And with Donald Trump as unpopular as he is, that pattern may repeat if Democrats sweep tomorrow, which right now looks more likely than not. Of course, we still have to see. Some polling snapshots also warn Democrats not to get drunk on good headlines, but the core point holds. Enthusiasm matches the numbers. The recent generic congressional ballot shows Democrats up 47 to 42. Combined with Trump's 37% approval and 63% disapproval, the picture is coherent, not cherry-picked. Now to the part that touches Trump's raw nerve, Barack Obama shows up. In Virginia, he campaigns for Abigail Spanberger while prosecuting the case against Trump and the MAGA bloc, saying Republicans in Congress are not even pretending to solve problems, sometimes not even showing up for work. That hits because the House has lurched through shutdown brinkmanship while basic business piles up. Obama does not stop at Virginia. He carries the message to New Jersey, tying the odd-year stakes to Trump's brand of leadership and reminding crowds that citizenship carries responsibility. We are citizens, not subjects. We are defined by a common creed and a duty to look after one another. Those are the lines that used to launch national campaigns. Now they serve as civic intervention. And yes, this is this week. Obama appears with Spanberger in Norfolk and backs Mickey Sherrill in New Jersey down the stretch. Meanwhile, the other side showcases its own contradictions. Mike Johnson says he is exhausted, That he looks haggard on TV because he's working overtime. Overtime for what voters see a House that cannot keep a schedule, cannot negotiate across the aisle, extends shutdown crises, and fails to solve healthcare and food pressures it helped create. A speaker who claims he is tired while still following Trump's lead. People are tired, all right, tired of that. The drumbeat continues. The country and our politics are in a dark place. Every day, this White House pushes out lawlessness, recklessness, meanness, and craziness. That language is familiar to Trump's critics. What is different now is its reach. Even friendly outlets are airing footage that is uncomfortable for his record. The polling picture is as sour as the mood. Registered voters prefer Democrats 47% to 42% on the generic ballot. Trump's approval is 37%, disapproval 63%. 67% of Democrats and Democratic leaners say they are extremely motivated to vote. After a post-election honeymoon at 47 to 48%, his approval slid steadily as more Americans said he abused presidential power. 61% say he has gone too far. 57% say he has gone too far on deportations. 47% rank the economy and prices as the top concern. 26% say the state of democracy. 10% say immigration. Asked about Trump's policies and the United States economy, 61% say worse. 27% say better. That picture repeats across multiple outlets. Here is the internal noise no campaign wants in the final week. Marjorie Taylor Greene attacks a $40 billion package for Argentina as a gut punch to American ranchers and America first, even arguing Argentina is at the bottom of South America, so it cannot be a priority. Rand Paul sounds the alarm about a lack of oversight when the executive decides to blow up boats in the Caribbean or the Pacific, reminding everyone the Constitution requires Congress to vote to go to war, that in wartime there are rules of engagement, but law enforcement is not war, and that extrajudicial killings are what authoritarian regimes do. You do not have to agree with them to see the cracks. One faction performs populist outrage at foreign spending. Another warns the executive is over the line. It does not read like a unified governing vision. It reads like a party glued to one man's brand while arguing about everything else. Meanwhile, the people actually on the ballot keep doing the simple, effective thing. Mickey Sherrill stays locked on cost of living, public safety schools, competence, and she does not let Trump float as somebody else's problem. She names him tying state-level choices to national behavior. Recent polling shows her ahead, and in one quality survey, she leads Jack Ciattarelli 51 to 43 on the eve of Election Day, right around the 6-point margin everyone keeps citing. That is not mythology. It is the current snapshot. Abigail Spanberger does the same in Virginia. A former CIA officer with a habit of turning complexity into practicality, she runs as the competent alternative to chaos and cultural exhaustion. Observers keep calling Virginia and New Jersey bellwethers because they usually are. Win both in an odd year and you enter the midterms with a tailwind. Lose and it is a warning shot. Even columnists who argue the race is about more than Trump admit his shadow covers everything, and the result will be read through the Trump lens, whether anyone likes it or not. New York City is its own machine, but the signal is the same. Zamandani, up 16 points, more proof that Democratic candidates, despite varied positions, share one sentence that keeps ringing. Donald Trump is a danger to the country and voters know it. Local priorities differ. The core message does not. When every ad, every door knock, every closing argument revolves around the same name and the same warning that is not just message discipline. That is a referendum. Step back and connect the dots like a campaign war room. If Democrats lead the national generic ballot, if Trump's approval scrapes the bottom of his second term, if his disapproval sits around 60, if his net favorables are double-digit negatives in New Jersey and Virginia and a brutal minus 35 in New York, then you expect what you are seeing. Healthy early vote for Democrats. Calm, life-focused closing messages that still bind Republican opponents to Trump. And the other side throwing a mix of grievance fatigue and scattered policy fights to see what sticks. The mood matches the math. Voters repeat the same priorities. Economy and prices first, then democracy, then immigration. Those priorities reward messages about stability, institutions, and basic competence. They punish chaos. Back to the opening claim. The common denominator is Donald Trump. The people who lead are the ones who name him, prosecute the case against him, and connect local cost to national behavior. They lead where he is least liked and where his brand is most toxic. The feedback loop is obvious. The more he inserts himself, the more he drags. The more he drags, the more Democrats center him. and the more once-friendly channels air clips reminding soft Republicans and independents why they drifted away. Obama appears in Norfolk with Abigail Spanberger and in New Jersey with Mickey Sherrill. The argument is simple. We are citizens, not subjects. Rights come with responsibilities. We look after one another. That is the best of the American experiment, and it still holds if enough people show up. That is why these races matter more than a couple of seats. Here is the no-music, straight-to-camera version. Mickey Sherrill up 6. Abigail Spanberger up solidly in Virginia. Zam Mandani up 16 in New York City. In New Jersey, Virginia, and New York. Trump is a heavy drag. Net favorability, -11, -14, -35. Nationally, about -13. Approval, 37%. Disapproval, 63%. Democrats lead the generic ballot 47-42. 47% of voters prioritize the economy and prices. 26% say democracy. 10% say immigration. 61% say Trump has abused or gone too far with presidential power. 61% say his policies worsened the economy. 27% say they improved it. History shows that when Democrats sweep Virginia and New Jersey in an odd year, they often win the House the year after. When the data points line up, respect the pattern. We are anonymous. We do not forget what the numbers say when the shouting stops. We do not forgive those who bet on chaos and call it power. If you believe truth beats noise, if you believe citizenship is a responsibility, not a costume, share this, subscribe, and turn on notifications for the next drop the moment it lands. Most important, if you are in New Jersey, Virginia, or New York City, vote. Bring 2 friends. Turn your ballot into a voice. The margin is not just a number. It is a message.